Stitch and Seam.
Hi!
Hi. Hi.
Pannon, you're away from me again.
Oh no. Is it because I'm a ghost and it's Halloween?
You're in my head.
So spoopy.
So spoopy.
Goodness.
Well, as you may have guessed, we'll get into the topic in a minute, and it's going to be spoopy. But let's go through our quick house cleaning stuff. As usual, if you guys want to reach out to us, you can hit us up at CosplayStitchAndSeam@gmail.com or
you can go to the website, CosplayStitchAndSeam.com, and fill out the form or send us a chat thing. Words and things. Comment. There you go. You can comment on the blog post, technically.
Yeah.
Yes.
You can also join our Facebook group. We're just over 450 members as of this episode, which is amazing. We love seeing all you guys get excited. We love seeing all of the support for new cosplay, for getting advice for cosplay. I love that everyone's willing to jump in and give advice and experience. It's so helpful.
It's been a super great group. Like, I'm so proud of you guys. Thank you for being so wholesome.
Thank you for making this community a really good one to be a part of.
Yes.
Another mention is if you'd like to help us out with our bandwidth and website and all that fun costs, you can hit us up on our Ko-fi, which is Kofi. We are Cosplay Stitch. And we had a donation recently, didn't we?
Yes. Joy D bought us a coffee, and she said, keep up the great work, love the show. So thank you, Joy. You are a joy.
Thank you so much. We noticed like a lot of really fun, like positive mentions in like stories and Instagrams, and I unfortunately like didn't screen cap all of them, but like they made me so happy. There was just so much love for the body positivity panel.
Oh, yes.
And I was really worried, honestly, when that one went up, because I felt like I got way overly emotional, but it was really cool to hear that so many other people related so hard. And so, yeah, it really gave me like a kinship and made me love our community even more to like hear from you guys about that.
You know why that was, Pannon? Because your emotions are valid.
So valid.
So that actually brings me into our next topic, in our housekeeping. Oh, I did want to say, like, shout out to what's the most recent one I saw, Bunley Cosplay, who was listening to Body Positivity panel. Thank you for the shout out in your story.
Also to Glyn Cosplay in Portugal. There we go. I had to look up I had to look it up again. That one I remember to screenshot her message because it was so nice. But yes, Glyn Cosplay in Portugal for messaging in and having interest in doing their own podcast down there. So I hope they're able to do that. So
cool. So if you guys enjoyed the body positivity panel, we're actually going to be reprising it at Anime Bonsai.
Yes.
Which is, for us, this upcoming weekend, but if you're listening to this episode, it's happening now. Yeah. And we'll be doing that panel on Sunday. And I'm really excited because I feel like we have a little bit more of a diverse number of panelists, because before it was just the three of us, but we'll have another male cosplayer, and we'll have Kimi and Kame of Kyoku Photography on the panel as well with us.
And we've done the body positivity episode with them before as well.
Yeah. I think they're really great people. They have a really good pulse on the community, and they actually hosted this panel last year. And they're going to be giving out these cute little ribbons that say, like, just do it if you want to cosplay. And
aww.
I love that.
I'm so excited for their ribbons. And I may be helping them hand out those ribbons because I, unfortunately, wasn't able to afford any ribbons this year. So I'll be helping hand out those ribbons with them.
Yay. Yay. Cool. So Bonsai, again, is happening right now. If you guys are local to Salt Lake City, head up to Layton. It's at the Davis Convention Center, and
come say hello.
Be hosting a podcast today, which it might be too late for today. But Friday is our podcast, and then on Sunday is the body positivity panel. We also are, this one isn't too late to mention, but our next episode is going to be a live stream, which we're starting on our Twitch channel. If you didn't catch it, we're actually going to be uploading it to our YouTube account, where we just did construction and answered questions for a few hours. But our next Cosplay Stitch and Stream is going to be decided by you guys, which is makeup based, since we want spoopy Halloween fun.
Yes.
And you guys get to vote on which styles of makeup you want. Right now in the lead, we have cell shading with like a Borderlands style. We have Lore Olympus body paint style. And we have magical boys and girls. And yeah, I'm super excited to not just get to put on makeup for you guys, but also get to use David as a model.
Yay!
It's gonna be great. Also, y'all have real good taste in the group.
Yeah.
I love those top 3 choices.
So if you want to get a vote in, I mean, we still have a lot of other good options. We had Crossplay, we had like some crazy glam Ziggy Stardust stuff. We have JoJo's, which I'm not saying people should vote for JoJo's, but vote for JoJo's.
Simple needs Panin.
You have till basically this weekend, the next few days after this episode comes out, to get that vote in. And I think that's it. Just upcoming conventions. What are your upcoming cons?
I don't have any after Anime Bonsai, actually, because I won't be able to afford to go to ALA. So I'm staying home, but I'll be reorganizing my craft room and getting it all set up. So I'll probably have pictures and progress of that going on, as well as like projects that I'll be working on. But I don't know what my 2020 cosplay convention plans are yet.
Later this year, I'll be hosting a nap panel at BedCon.
What? Oh.
How did you get tickets to that? It's like impossible to get in.
I was like, I want to go to this.
They're all sold out in my area.
David is taking advantage of the point that I haven't slept super awesome.
That's the story of the past week for me, so yeah.
That's awesome.
I will be for this year, I think the only one I've got left is KomoriCon coming up in November, which is in Portland. And I will be competing in the contest. I know. And I will also be volunteering at the charity auction. Aww. So if you would like to stop by, it's a silent auction all weekend. And then at the end of the weekend, we have a lot of bigger ticket items that will be done in a live auctioneer sort of style, which is really fun. Last year, we had original paintings by Amano, who does like Final Fantasy artwork, Vampire Hunter D, that sort of thing. He actually did paintings at the convention because he was a guest there, and we got to auction them off for, I think we got up to like $4,000 on one of his paintings, which was amazing for our charity.
That could be a really interesting episode topic. Talking about auctions and charity stuff at conventions and art shows.
Yeah. So I would say it's always worth reaching out and seeing what sort of charity work your local conventions are doing.
Yes.
I know Anime Bonsai just barely got their nonprofit organization status. So they are like officially a nonprofit, and they do charity stuff every year. Yeah. I love being able to like contribute so people aren't just like, cosplayers. I'm like, no, we contribute. We do a lot of cool stuff.
Yes.
And then Anime Los Angeles, I'm going to be there. I actually run the masquerade there with Katrina, who is the tech stage manager, and then I handle the judging and other behind the scenes stuff. So yeah, I hope you are able to make it to Anime Los Angeles. And I just recently, it's not been announced yet, but I'm probably going to be judging a con coming up next year.
Ooh.
So, yeah.
Exciting.
Yeah. So now that we've been chatting for, like, I swear part of these episodes are just like, catch up. How are you doing? How are you lately?
It's like, I haven't seen you because you're gone.
I know.
Sorry.
So, our episode today, we wanted to talk about cosplay and Halloween.
Halloween!
And how the two affect each other, because they can go together really well, and they can also be like oil and water.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know every cosplayer cringes a little bit when they hear that, oh, you do costumes, could you
make me X costume for Halloween? And they tell you, like, in the month of October, and you're like,
Can I wear your old costume that you're not wearing anymore?
No!
So I thought we could vent our pet peeves and maybe discuss a little bit how we can chill on them, because not that they're not valid, but we also need to get some chill. And then some tips to help you enjoy your Halloween. Yeah?
Yeah, I like this.
Cool.
I like it a lot.
So I was actually looking through articles, and I was really surprised by one of the attitudes I saw. I know this isn't everybody, but one of the first articles that came up, and one of, like, it kept repeating in several of the other articles, was cosplayers being upset that people aren't taking the holiday seriously, or that aren't costuming seriously as they do. And, like, I get that, because, like, it's the holiday that's, like, basically about things you love, putting on costumes, acting in character, you know, showing off these beautiful works that you've done. But Halloween is also a very mainstream holiday, and it's more for everyone. And so, I don't know, I felt like that opinion was really at odds with kind of like how I feel about cosplay.
The being irritated that no one else is, like, going to the level that you are. For me, I actually like doing simpler costumes for Halloween, because most of my cosplays take 30 to 60 minutes, 30 minutes to an hour to put on. And that's not fun for me on Halloween. Halloween is more relaxed to me. So it's I want to do a punny costume, or a ghost sheet, because it's simple.
Yes.
And also, like, at least for me, for, like, Halloween parties and whatnot, like, I don't want to be wearing a full-on cosplay while being, this, like, complex costume, while being around friends who, like, want to hug me, want to eat lots of crazy spooky food together, some of them drink, and it's like, I don't want to be wearing my nice stuff to that. I want to be comfortable, I want to be relaxed. I usually wear something simpler, and so, like, seeing others who will show up to, like, a Halloween party not in costume, that's fine. Like, Halloween isn't for everybody. It's
like a minimal effort costume where it's just like kitty ears and whiskers or something, Yeah. It's fun.
It's supposed to be fun and just like a way to just kind of sit back, relax, another excuse for a party. Come on.
Yeah. So that was like my first one that was like, please, if you're feeling that way, I know it's something that you love, and I hope you don't feel like people are walking all over it, because Halloween is not just about costumes. Halloween's about, a lot of other things, especially like in US history, and like every holiday, it gets mishmashed along the way. But make sure that, like, enjoying the holiday doesn't, like, step on other people's fun also.
Yeah.
If you feel like you're getting that attitude, maybe take a step back and reevaluate and remember that, like, other people having fun or being silly doesn't take away from how much fun you can have on Halloween.
Yeah. I can see, like, possibly a lot of the younger crowd feeling that way because they've grown up with cosplay. Cosplay's become a lot more mainstream, and therefore a lot more younger people are doing it, so it's more part of their lives, where for, like, me growing up, I didn't know what cosplay was, so Halloween was my chance to go all out on a costume, and it was super fun. That and, every Harry Potter and Lord of the Rings midnight release.
Me too!
But, like, it never was like a super crazy thing for me to get into or to go like super over the top with anything that I wasn't comfortable wearing, because I'm walking around, I'm chatting with friends, I'm not like, it just feels different than like a convention space or like being able to like be like, okay, this costume's hurting, I'm gonna run to my hotel room. Right. You know, you're at your friend's house, you can't run to a hotel room and take a break, you know?
Yeah.
So
yeah, well, and to move sort of from that point, like it isn't a convention, and I feel like at conventions I don't, or at least we should not be making fun of people who make or who buy their costumes versus making their costumes, and I feel like it's very similar at Halloween. These are bought costumes, most of them. It's people who don't normally cosplay or put on costumes.
Most of my Halloween costumes are bought ones. I don't make them. I don't have time for that.
and I know it can be irritating to see like knockoffs or like really cheaply made or like sexy versions of cosplay that maybe you don't personally think should be sexy. But just try to take a step back and chill. Not everybody can make their own, and it doesn't take anything away from your own costume.
David's chuckling over here.
I have feelings about the sexy cosplay, especially like sexy minion. Like it's gone too far. It's gone too far. Sexy cat, sexy nurse, sure. Oh. Sexy minion. I'm done.
I like sexy Mario.
Sexy Mario. Oh my goodness.
I'm done. I'm out.
I mean, I feel like everyone should be able to do like the sexy version of their costume if they want.
Sexy minion's kind of weird.
I think what I have an issue with is that for a lot of females, it's like that's the only thing available.
Yeah, totally. It's like a huge option at the store, and you're like, "Hey, but can we look at something else, please?"
Yeah. Like if you're looking for a female presenting costume, that is all there is sexy. And sometimes you want to be a female version of a costume and you don't want to be sexy. Maybe you don't want, you just want to represent the character, you know?
I think you should buy the male version regardless, because then it'll have pockets.
Yes! Oh, smart. I like that. Well, and it's not even a lot of times like it's a gender-bent cosplay. A lot of times it's like Hogwarts student, but like it has a ton of cleavage or it's a really mini skirt. And it's just frustrating that that's like, not that that shouldn't be an available option, but that's the only option.
Yeah. Sometimes if you dig, you can find something, but it's usually not for adults. Usually the adult cosplays are all sexy, and it's like, why?
Ooh.
Can't wear kids' costumes.
Like, sometimes I want to be sexy, but not... sometimes I want some other things.
Yeah. I wish stores had, again, more options. Like, the sexy stuff's cool. It's funny. I think it's hilarious, like, going through and looking at a bunch of them. But, yeah, it would be nice if they had more options.
Yeah. So moving on from that one, the next pet peeve...
I want to...
Oh, yeah.
I lost my train of thought. Never mind.
Do you think? Oh.
I lost it. I had it. I'll try to remember what it was. Wearing a costume more than once. There we go.
Oh, yeah.
That one seems like something that I see at a lot of, like, parties. Is, like, one year you go and you spend, like, all this money on this amazing costume, and you shouldn't wear it again the next year. This is a pet peeve that I have. It's like, I spent a lot of money on this skeleton dress that I really love, and I think I look good in it. I want to wear it more than once. And my husband also has a matching skeleton suit costume for Halloween, and I'm just like, we need to just figure out, like, make it okay to wear these more than once, because it cost us a decent amount, because we bought it in... high Halloween season where everything's overpriced.
Right.
But, dude, we looked amazing. Like, we had, like, the makeup, so our faces were all skeletal, and, like, it was awesome. And, I don't know, just, like, if we wear it again, some people are like, ugh, you wore that last time. And it's like, this isn't prom.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think people get that same attitude at conventions too, because they'll be like, oh, you wore that costume to this one. As long as you're not competing in it multiple times, you should be able to wear it as many times as you want. Like, I worked really hard on my, the new Legend of Zelda one that I finished for non-DesCon. And I plan to wear him a lot. Yes. I haven't competed in him yet, and I want to get a lot of wear out of him, and he's super comfy.
Do the thing.
So, yeah, no problem with re-wearing. Like, do the thing. But next on the pet peeve, did you get all your venting out on that one?
Yes, okay. I did. I got my venting out on that one. I should be allowed to wear that cute skeleton dress twice.
You should wear that as much as you want.
I'm gonna.
You could always do, like, fun themes on it, too. Like, do, like, farmer skeletons, or do
my gosh,
like, pumpkin skeletons, or do circus skeletons. I don't know.
Okay, actually, that helps a lot.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna talk to Chris and be like, hey, Kay, so I think I got a way we can make a good bang for our buck. Nice. I can't words. That sentence was really bad.
You're good. I knew what you meant.
Yes, get good traction out of these skelly costumes that we got.
Do it. Next, I have being asked to lend out costumes. And you kind of mentioned this before. Mm-hmm. Even if it's an older one that maybe you don't wear as much, it's still kind of jarring to get asked.
For me, especially with my earlier stuff, it's mostly that I wasn't sure how durable it was. And then later, like it was mostly my siblings that would ask. Complete strangers every now and then ask. Yeah. Which is like, no, I'm not lending my costume to you. I don't know you. But my siblings used to ask a lot, and they've kind of learned to be like, nah. Unless they know everything about the costume. Cause like Lexus, she costumes with me enough that she knows that, okay, this piece acts really weird when you sit down, so she knows to like shift it to the side so she doesn't break it. She understands my costumes, and so I'm okay with her borrowing and or wearing mine. Plus, we also think it's hilarious because everybody thinks she's me. And we love tricking people. Especially if I debut a new costume, I have her wear one of my old ones.
Right. You have tricked me with that before.
It's amazing. But yeah, it's, for me, it's like, yeah, I'd like to be able to do something like that, but at the same time, these are my babies. Right. Like, I know them inside and out. I know what problems they have. And I don't want them getting broken, and it's not that I don't totally trust, like, again, these are my siblings that I'm saying no to. I trust them, but I don't know who else is going to be at whatever party that they're going to. Right. I don't know if, like, something will get spilled on it, and this is also the same reasons why I usually don't wear my own cosplays to parties, is because I don't want something getting spilled on it that I can't get out. Yeah,
I feel like there's an assumption around Halloween that because most people buy their costumes from a Halloween store, they are all about the same price level, they're about the same quality, and that isn't true with most cosplay. Like, they are usually a lot more time, a lot more money, a lot more detail put in, and seeing that get damaged as if it were something cheaply made is really frustrating.
Mm-hmm. Now, when responding to people wanting to lend out being like, hey, can I borrow your chic cosplay? And I'm like, no, I don't actually respond. No. I mean, my brain is doing that, but I'm a lot more polite than that. And I think that's an essential thing around Halloween and any time of the year when somebody asks you these things, is to always be polite when responding to these requests, because they might not understand all the work that you put into this costume. They might not understand that, it's got pieces that are fragile, or that you're worried that something might get spilled on it. It's definitely levels of explaining your comfort to them and let them understand and do it in the politest way possible.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think you should like have to I guess drop your standards of like letting people borrow things. I don't think you should have to make yourself comfortable with it if you're not. But please communicate to people like why it makes you uncomfortable, so that, you know, a lot of people just don't know that cosplay and costuming are that Halloween costume and cosplay are different things.
Yeah.
Like for me, most of my stuff is very specific to my size, and if you are not within like an inch or two of my size, it's not gonna fit you.
Yeah.
So even if I could, it's like, it's not gonna fit you.
Yeah, that's another reason why I let Lexus borrow mine, is because she's pretty similar to my body shape. So I'm like, sure, it'll fit you. You're not gonna break it.
Right. But yeah, like you mentioned, I think there's that expectation that like you don't know what other people are going to treat the costume like. Like the person you lend it to might be a very responsible person, but another person might think nothing of, you know, spilling a drink on it or stepping on your cape or you know, wiping their hands on your train. I don't know.
Yeah. And there may be costumes where like after a while you're like, okay, actually I don't mind if this one gets anything on it. You know, it's old enough. Like I've done that before where I've let my other siblings borrow old cosplays of mine that I just don't wear anymore. And I'm like, well, I'm probably just going to cut it up, turn it into a pattern and make it better. Because I let my sister Riata one year for Halloween borrow my Xerxes Break cosplay.
Oh, yeah.
She didn't really know what it was from. So she actually just turned it into her own, like, cutesy thing that was really adorable.
Oh.
But, like, and she took good care of it. I was very proud of her. But, like, if anything had spilled on it, it wouldn't have been, you know, no loss to me because, like, my skill level for making stuff has changed so much that it no longer, like, would have been a big deal to me.
Yeah.
So it's like, if you want to look at your costumes and be like, okay, which ones am I okay with lending out?
Right.
Kind of think about that ahead of time.
And to those who have had costumes lent to you, like, please know how much these cosplayers trusted you.
Yeah.
Because that's their baby. That's their baby.
Yes. Especially if it's a handmade one. And even store-bought ones, they probably worked hard to get the money to purchase those or to commission someone to make it for them.
Absolutely.
Like, it's still someone's baby, even if they didn't hand make it themselves.
Yep. So how about being asked to make someone's costume? Like you said, you know, a few days before Halloween or the month of October or...
Yeah, So whenever this one comes up, because Anime Bonsai is always in October, so usually... people understand that I'm making costumes, and they actually will usually ask me around September, which is fine because that's good. They're asking decently enough in advance, but I will usually tell them, okay, Anime Bonsai is this weekend. If your costume's simple enough, I can make it the week after, but before Halloween. And usually that lets them know, okay, yes, no, maybe so. The only Halloween costumes that I've successfully made in time for Halloween have been for my, I almost called her my niece again, my cousin. My aunt is only 4 years older than me, so I keep calling her kids my nieces. They're my cousins. Yeah, so I made a ladybug costume one year for my cousin, and it was super cute. But that's like the one. Otherwise, like usually when I tell them I only have this time frame to make it and it has to be very simple, they usually realize that they can't. And then I also, if they do commit to it, I'm like, all right, it's gonna cost this much, and you know, if they really like want to put a rush on it or something, I have to charge a little bit more. Otherwise, like if they're fine with that week, they got to be fine with that week. So
my brother reached out to me, I think in June, and said, "Hey, your nephew wants to be Master Chief for Halloween.
Aww.
And I was like, cool, yeah, let's plan on this. And I started looking up at like 3D patterns and whatnot, and like how best to make it out of foam. And since, he's like 5, it doesn't need to be high quality, material and whatnot. And I start talking to his wife, my sister-in-law, and she's like, he's 5 years old. It's going to change the day before Halloween. Don't buy anything yet. And I was like, oh yeah, I totally forgot that kids have their own opinions of what's going to happen in the world. And like, as I was talking to him, I was like, what do you want to be for Halloween? And like, now it's end of July, so it's been a month and a half.
Uh-huh.
And he's like, I want to be a samurai.
Okay.
And I was like, awesome. I can kind of help with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the hard thing with little kids is they change their minds so much. So it's usually just easier to go and buy them take them to the Halloween store and let them pick out what they want to wear.
Right.
Because usually having something handmade is not going to happen very quickly. Yeah. Luckily with my cousin, like, she was just still very, very tiny at the time, so she had no say in what she was going to be for Halloween. She was going to be a ladybug. Oh man, I'm so proud of that costume. It's so cute.
For me, if I'm interested in making, I will let them know what my rates are. And if they're asking, like you said, last minute, make sure you're upcharging for a rush, because you shouldn't have to be put in a panic without being compensated.
Yeah.
Make sure it's something that you are going to have time for. And if you don't want to make it, remember that your mental health is a valid reason for saying no. Your schedule's as important as anyone else's. You should also be able to enjoy the holiday just as much as anyone else.
Yes, don't feel pressured to say yes. It is okay to say no.
Yeah. Also, I have reminded people several times that Halloween stores exist and are a much cheaper alternative than trying to commission me right before Halloween.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people don't realize that Halloween stores, well, a lot of the pop-up ones will have cheaper end costumes, but if you find any that are local and year-round, or you can find places that rent, a lot of theater companies will rent higher-end costumes. I used to work at one down in Provo that would sell some of the more deluxe ones. I think they had all the Disney princesses, and they're the official ones, and they were the fancy versions.
Mm-hmm.
And they're decently well made. They're probably not on the level of a lot of cosplayers, but they're Halloween worthy, and compared to a lot of the cheap stuff for Halloween out there, they were a pretty good alternative to paying me to make it,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and once again, it is okay to say no. I know that,
right?
Especially once I first started getting into cosplay, anytime somebody was like, "Oh man, I wish I could make X thing," and I would be like, "I'll make it for you." Down to, "Will you make this thing for me, Mercedes?" And I'd be like, "Yes, I will," because I couldn't say no. It is okay to say no. If you feel like it's just going to be too much, it's okay to say no. Even as I've been prepping for Anime Bonsai, my sister Alexis has been like, "Hey, can we quickly make this before Bonsai?" And she asked me this on the Friday before Bonsai. And I told her, I was like, "I'll be upfront with you. I want you to wear this costume because I think she'll look amazing in it." She wanted to be Tifa from Final Fantasy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think she would be amazing as Tifa. But I was like, I have extra fabric that you can use for this. You just need to buy, such and such things. But I'm going to have to instruct you how to put it together because I have to get my stuff done for the contest.
Right.
And then she didn't realize that Bonsai was only a week away.
Oops.
So she's like, maybe not this time. But I was like, we can make it better afterwards. For sure. So.
Nice.
Yeah. There's a lot of things that I'm excited to do with her.
Good. Okay, my last pet peeve that I have is overdressing for the event. Sometimes you'll do amazing in the contest if there's a contest, but sometimes you just feel weird and overdressed, and it doesn't feel like it fits the situation.
Okay, so one of the places where I work, they always expect me to bring some big cosplay thing. And I think finally over the last couple of years, they've been like realizing that I just don't. That I just come as a witch or a sheet ghost. Because I did one year bring my Link costume, and I won the work costume contest. That was cool.
Nice.
I couldn't use the winnings because I was 18, and it was a free night stay in Wendover.
Oh. Nice.
So I was like, right. Cool. I gave it to my mom. But like ever since then, I'm like, it just takes too much time to get in these, and then I gotta be working in it. It's just like, I'll just wear something comfortable. Like, I gotta sit at a desk all day. Like, And it does kind of feel weird, like being super overdressed and everyone else is usually wearing like punny. Like, for me, Halloween is just about the puns. Like, how funny can your costume be?
Yes.
Or like with our skeleton ones, like how clever can it be without spending a ton of money, kind of thing.
Right.
Like, that's what it is. How clever or funny it can be, and I love that.
Nice.
Yeah,
I would say like make sure you know what you're getting into. Like, know what kind of party it is. If you've gone once and overdressed to it, and maybe like just do something a little more casual, maybe do something a little silly. Like, it doesn't have to be the same level of like stress that a lot of conventions are.
Yeah,
it's not a cosplay contest. Like,
yeah,
I feel like a lot of people forget that like Halloween stuff, most of the contests are going to be like audience choice, audience favorite.
Mm-hmm.
They're not going to care if you have perfectly mitered corners. They're not going to care if you made the like soldered all the lights yourself or if you bought a kit. They're not going to care, you know. They just are excited to see the character.
Did I tell you how I got Final Fantasy 12? Or no, 13. Final Fantasy 13.
No.
I went to the midnight release of it at a local game store, and they were having a cosplay contest, and I had my really crappy Yuffie costume. Like, wasn't really well put together, but like it had the details, but it was all made out of like super cheap materials and stuff. Like, it really wasn't super awesome. But I'm still proud of it. I loved it. So I wore that to it. And like, even though it wasn't super well made, I won.
Nice.
Like, you don't have to go super all out, you know, with a costume to go to these things. And it also was just an audience favorite thing. And I literally won because the owner of this games shop walked by and he's like, "You're the only character I recognize." So it wasn't even like, it's not a craftsmanship thing. It's not a... It's just whatever the whims of the contest is when it comes to these smaller things. And I was really just going for fun. Like, I had the money to just buy the game, but it was cool I didn't have to.
Yeah. And I'm definitely not saying you shouldn't, like, bring your A game to a contest if you want to try to win it.
Yeah.
But just be aware that the parameters are very different. I mean, but it's also super fun to rock in with, like, crazy armor or a big ball gown or something and be like, yeah, what's up, Halloween?
This is my holiday now.
Yeah.
My holiday.
Just make sure, like, you know what the party or contest is actually going to be like, so you're not disappointed.
Yeah.
My next bullet points are, like, remembering Halloween is not a contest or a cosplay contest convention. Like we said before, cosplay is usually rooted in a deep love for your character or costume, and it can be really hard to see people not treat it as seriously in their interpretations, or worse, damage your costume or treat yours disrespectfully. I get that, and it sucks.
And also, like, Halloween is not necessarily rooted in that same deep love of a character or costume.
Right.
Halloween it's different for everybody. It's rooted in spooky shenanigans, in spiders and skeletons and horror stories of like actual horror stories and just things like that where it's not necessarily about the costumes, it's about who can you scare the most of your friends. Let's watch a scary movie together. Let's just do something Halloween themed and not necessarily make it a costume contest.
I've noticed, at least among my friends, that cosplayers are more likely to feel burnout around Halloween or feel less interested in the holiday. And, I'm not entirely sure why that is, but I feel it like every year. I'll sit there and stare at my closet full of costumes and go, I have nothing to wear.
I think, so I'm just going to throw this out there. I think it's a little bit because Anime Bonsai's in October. And we go do the big costume thing of the month. And then there's the other big costume thing of the month with Halloween. And it's like, I just want to wear something comfy.
I mean, I think a little bit, like, I hate to be that guy, but, like, I think a little bit of it is attention. Like, it's really hard to feel as, like, special or recognized when everybody's in costume. And I kind of miss that. Mm-hmm. If I'm being, like, 100% honest, like, and so, like, I also, like, I just like to be in a costume, not necessarily an amazing costume, just to feel like I'm part of the holiday. But I don't always know what to bring out that's not, like, completely unrecognizable to mainstream people, or, like, I don't know.
Yeah, that's another thing with, like, my work. They're always like, you should bring in one of your cosplays, and it's like, you're not gonna know what it's from!
That was the next point, is like it's less likely to be recognized outside of like Disney princesses or superheroes, or really obvious like I'm a witch, I'm a devil, I'm a ghost. And most of mine are like, oh, I'm JoJo from part 7. I'm I'm this princess from Britannia. I'm this super what is it, ultimate level something talented thing that gets murdered.
I'm a girl cosplaying a dude that goes and fights mountains.
Cool.
So this is how I felt at NDK of like, oh, have you seen ba-da-da-da-da? Those were words.
Yeah, so I understand that can be like a little bit of a downer, but I mean, I'm trying to be more like, just do it anyway, and the people, it's the same as at conventions if I do something that's less recognizable. Like, do it anyway because I love the character. The people that do recognize it are going to be excited.
Yeah. And it'll be great.
Yeah. There's always a lot less appreciation for the work or detail put in. It's Halloween. Everybody's in a costume. Most of people aren't going to think that you made the costume. They're just going to think you bought it somewhere because that's what most people do at Halloween. There's also a lot more appreciation for, like Mercedes said, funny, flashy, or performative works. Puns. I love pun costumes. I think they're so stupid, but they're so fun.
They're the best. And you can even, like, do really simple ones. Like, my brother-in-law and his girlfriend did Monsters, Inc., where he was Sully because he's really tall, and she was Mike Wazowski because she's really short, and they just wore sweaters with the character's face on them and hard hats. And it's like, aw, it's Monsters, Inc. It's so cute. Like, adorable couples cosplays are really fun. Or, like, get with your friends and be like, okay, guys, let's be... I can't think of one.
Oh.
An electric fence. I don't know.
I did one once that was like, I just put on my tuxedo shirt and a little bow tie, and I said, I had a "Hello, my name is" sticker that said "sorry," and I was a formal apology.
That's amazing.
It's me. But yeah, I think it's fun, especially like getting a group in on things. Is super fun. I don't know. There's just a lot of options, and there's a lot of like, it's not the same pressure you would have to like get a whole group of like Dragon Ball or Sailor Moon or whatever, because they're just silly. And
it's just like, guys, we all like witches. Let's be witches.
Yeah.
And like, you can literally throw that together by just being like, this dress looks witchy, and throw it on, and here's a hat. And like, witch hats are fun.
Yeah.
Because like, you can just like throw a bunch of like stuff on them, and just like, you have an amazing witch hat.
Yes. Since I started cosplaying Taco from TV,
from TV,
I have like a different hat for every time I wear him.
Aww.
So I have like 3 or 4 hats now, and it's super fun, but I'm also like, oh no, which hat do I wear?
Mm-hmm. And it's awesome because like, if you wanted to be a witch for Halloween, you could grab one of his hats and then, wear like a witch costume that doesn't cost you a whole lot, but you still have something that you've made that you're wearing, and you can kind of show off a little bit, but not feel overdressed.
Yeah. I like it.
Yeah, I've done that too, where I've like taken pieces of a cosplay and used it for a Halloween costume.
Yeah. So we've talked about like some of the downers about Halloween when you're a cosplayer. Let's talk about like ways to enjoy it and make it good.
Oh my gosh, yes.
I put know what you want out of Halloween. Like, if the main thing is like you're going like overdressed to parties, or you're like not having fun, like know what you want. Do you like parties? Like, do you like being out with a bunch of people? Like check how hard everyone else is going on their costumes. Like, is it a casual affair? Is it something where there is going to be a cosplay contest with really cool prizes? Is it worth getting crazy dressed up to you? Mm-hmm. Do you like staying at home to see all the trick-or-treaters or scare them at the door? Consider your costume choices there. Do you like haunted houses? I love going to haunted houses. Maybe not on Halloween, but I love going to them. And costumes don't work so well in haunted houses because all the people who work there are in costume. Mm-hmm. And also they don't always work in small spaces if you have a big costume.
It's like usually like I've been to a haunted house in costume one time, and it was fun. But we all went as witches. Aww. And so it was just really simple costumes that we could easily move around in, and our witch hats, and like it was obvious that we were grouped together, and like the people in the haunted house, like it was really funny. One of the vampires made a like fake threat to me about like using my hat to slit my throat, and I was just like, ooh, spooky. Like it just like added to the experience. Like it was just like, it was fun. It was cute.
Nice.
So like, I don't know, I think if you're going to a haunted house, wear something comfortable, because like if you're jumpy like me, you want to be able to move around easily. Although maybe I shouldn't, because I did run into that wall once. Okay. Funny side story. I just gotta. This was great. Okay, we went to this haunted house. It was a 3D one, so they had like 3D paint, and you wore 3D glasses through it. And it was like circus themed. Anyways, so I went with my friends Jez and Jessica, and we go into it, and it's just like, ooh, spooky, fun. Now, when I get nervous, I get giggly. Anybody can attest to that. To any time they watch a scary movie with me, I just giggle. There was this part that we came to where it's one of those spinning rooms where like it's a big tunnel and it spins. And it's all spinning, and I'm just like already getting dizzy. But the clown at the other end of the bridge that we were walking across, because you have to walk through the spinning tunnel. All right, the clown at the other end started spinning himself the other way. And I lost it. I was just laughing so hard. And my roommate was like, come on, Mercedes, let's keep going. Like, she just wasn't having it with me. And so she managed to get me to get up and walk, and the clown was gone. So like I go forward and whatnot, and he suddenly jumped out of nowhere, scared the crap out of me. So I bolted, and the next room was a slanted floor. So no. I went right into a wall. So
oh.
Anyways, and then I proceeded to laugh on the floor again. Because of how ridiculous it all was to me.
Mm-hmm.
So, Anyways, wear something comfortable that, like, if you know you're gonna run into a wall, you're not gonna break something.
Yeah.
It's great.
I'd also say, like, if you can't find what you want for your Halloween, like, host your own party.
Yeah.
I've been to, like, really fun Danganronpa murder mystery party, or, like, themed...
That was fun.
Yeah!
That was so much fun.
Themed, oh yeah, that was fun. Gosh, I can't even, like, I'm suddenly blanking now thinking of that party, but yeah, like,
I like spooky food.
Yeah, spooky food.
I make this thing where it's a cheese ball thing, but you lay, I don't know how to pronounce the name of this meat, so excuse me.
Prosciutto?
That one. Thank you. I didn't even have to say it. All right. You lay that over the top of it.
You don't get out of this. I think you need to say the word prosciutto now.
Well, I know it's not pronounced prosciutto, but I was going to say prosciutto because I couldn't remember how it was spelled either.
You know why I know it is because it's a JoJo character.
Oh my gosh.
Bunch of freaking nerds.
Nerds. Yes,
you take the slices of meat, you like lay it in a mask that's you've cleaned because this is food. And then you like push like the cheese and like whatever else you want to mix in with your like your cheese ball, and then you just pop it out of the mask, and it's a face.
Oh, gross! It's like
a skinned face.
You nasty.
I love it.
But you could do like a Food Wars one, or like a Bake Off one, or
Yeah, we made mummies. We made hot dog mummies last time, and they were really good. I ate way too many of them, but yeah.
I love nerdy themed parties like so much.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, do
like,
your own thing.
Figure out what you like and do it. And then we also like watching scary movies. Well, not necessarily scary movies. Usually, it has to be a scary movie or have some sort of Halloween theme to it. So like, I've already had one Halloween party that I've been to this month. So we watched Van Helsing.
Yeah.
And
oh my gosh.
The commentary from all of us was great.
Uh-huh.
I mean, that movie's not super awesome, but also, like, that battle at the end between Dracula and Van Helsing is awesome. But also, our crowd was great with the commentary.
Uh-huh.
I wish we recorded it.
Oh, man.
But yeah, so whatever you want for a party, try hosting one yourself. Find other people who like the same things as you do and do the thing.
Nice. I'm a fan of Cabin in the Woods. Is a good Halloween-y one for me.
I watched that for the first time last year, and I was like, why have I never seen this?
Oh, so fun. Fun.
That's good.
Let's see. Next, I would say make it casual. Like, if you're used to doing, like, going hard on cosplay, like, do something fun and silly and casual.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you enjoy being in a heavy armor or a big old dress or corsets or whatever, like, go for it. But maybe challenge yourself to do something that's a little more low-key.
Yeah. Relax. Chill.
Yeah.
Have some
I
fun.
kind of like not having to go, like, all out when it's Halloween. I like being able to be like, oh, hey, I'm like hipster Rapunzel. Like, that's fun.
Yeah. Do a casual version of a character.
Yeah.
Like, you could still wear the wig if you want to, or just, just be casual. It's fun. It's supposed to be fun.
I know, Pannon, you said that I should do a low-key cosplay, but I'd rather do Thor.
Boo.
That was amazing.
Boo. Next, I put make it spooky. So if you have a costume you already like have and love, like maybe if you like Link, you could do Zombie Link, or if you like Sailor Moon, you could do like she's magical, so you could do a witchy Sailor Moon. Like, take a thing you already have that you've already worked on and just make it spoopy.
If you have an old costume that you're like, man, I'm really not going to wear this again, but it's comfortable and I don't mind ruining it, you could be a zombie version of a character.
Yes.
Yes. If you don't mind putting fake blood all over it and stuff like that. I actually wanted to do this once. I wanted to take my old thigh cloak. I ended up selling it to someone who really wanted it, but I was like, if I was ever going to actually like retire that cloak, I wanted to take it to a colors festival.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That's fun.
Yeah, I thought that would have been cool, especially with Fi, and then it'd be like a whole colorful thing. But I ended up selling it to someone who really, like, I knew would take care of it and wanted it, so. Yeah.
I could do a dead JoJo. There's so many people who die in JoJo.
Oh my gosh. Be a dead character. Make people cry.
They're fun. I have done that before, and it does. At conventions, people get very, how dare. It's fun. As long as you're not spoiling one that, like, just happened.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Like,
some people might get mad at you for that.
Don't do that. But yeah, doing spooky ones, like, take the Halloween theme things and put it to a costume you already love. I've seen, like, there's a ton of fan art of that very thing, so even if you can't come up with an idea of your own, look for your character as Halloween-y stuff and see if something comes up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's fun.
It is.
Yeah. I like your note here, by the way, about making it an opportunity.
Yeah, that's the last one I wanted to go over.
Do you want to say stuff on that?
No, go ahead. Tell me why you like it.
Sorry. Yeah, make it an opportunity. It's like a lot of my friends don't cosplay. And for some who just kind of like want to be interested or want to be interested in it or introduced to it, it's a cool time to like sit down with them and be like, let's just try something simple and just have fun at this Halloween party. What's a character you like? Let's try doing spooky versions of that character. It's a great way to just kind of introduce them to like a small part of it before, throwing them headfirst into a convention.
Yeah. Conventions are very different.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. If you have a friend who's never tried cosplay or like maybe is curious but hasn't gotten into it, it's a really good chance to help them feel comfortable in one. You're not going to find another holiday where there's as many people who are just totally chill with everyone being in costume. It's also a good opportunity to like have a family member who maybe doesn't understand between cosplay and Halloween and keeps asking you to borrow costumes. Maybe it's a good time to sit down and have a discussion about why and what it means to you.
Yeah.
It's the time of year when everyone is excited about costumes, so I think we should use that energy for good things.
Yay!
Yay! Yay!
So happy Halloween, guys!
Yay! Yes. Spoop it up.
Spoop it up.
Spoop it up.
Spooky, scary Halloween.
Oh, goodness. I love that. I will, like, reblog that in July. I don't even care. I want a whole group of people cosplaying as the pumpkin dancer.
I'm just, like, grinning so bad right now. Okay. Yes.
So since it's Halloween, we need some spooky horror stories.
Let's do some pumpkin dancing.
Yes.
Sorry. Okay. Spooky horror stories. We haven't had any submissions recently.
While you're looking yours up, I have a horror story.
Yes.
Yeah. So I said, I think on one of the NDK episodes that I'm working on my Michael Carpenter cosplay.
Yeah.
And I decided, like, oh yeah, I'll totally, like, just work on as much as I can. If I can get it done by Bonsai, awesome. If not, whatever. So I was actually in my studio, because my studio has one of the better tables for working on it. And Pan, and you remember my studio. There are no windows. And I decided that, like, now would be a good time to barge cement some of these pieces together.
Oh, no. Oh,
so,
no.
I'm in the zone. And you know that zone where you're just like low, like not even thinking. I'm listening to Magnus Archives and I've got my headphones in, and my wife calls, and it shocks me so much because one, it's Magnus Archives, and two, I just wasn't expecting it to be that late in the day, and I go taking this big deep breath in, and I walk upstairs from the basement, and then I realize as I climb the first step that I was like, oh no. I am so lightheaded from all the fumes.
Oh, no. Ooh.
It took 4 hours before I started feeling a little bit
oh my gosh.
Normal.
Oh, geez.
So, as Mercedes was coming over today, she saw me working in my garage with the garage door open.
I'm so proud of him.
Good.
I learned my lesson.
And a mask.
I did not have a mask this time, but again...
Okay.
Barge is okay without a mask as long as it's well ventilated, and he had his whole garage door open, so...
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was more outside than I was inside at the time.
Yes, you were.
But I did do some sanding, and I had a full mask on.
Good.
And I was doing it outside.
Yay!
Good.
So I learned my lesson, and I just I probably was working for like 2 or 3 hours in the basement with all those fumes, and then I sat down and I was like, oh, I feel like I took like some heavy painkillers or something because I was just loopy for a while.
Aww.
So. Moral of the story, ventilation is important.
It is. It is important. I'll share mine. So yesterday, Saturday. So this is not yesterday, as in whenever this episode airs. So Friday before Anime Bonsai, I was up till very late, working on the audio. Because it was due Friday night. I got it in. But I was up very, very late working on stuff and whatnot. Went to bed around 3-4 in the morning.
Oh.
And got up early because there's this place called Woodcraft nearby that I love going to because as a woodworker, it's amazing. They have everything except for the bit I needed. They were out of it this time. But they were having a birthday sale because one of the owners was having a birthday.
Cute.
And so he put a bunch of things on clearance, and there were also going to be goodie bags, so we wanted to be there like right as it opened. We want to be one of the first 20 people in line. So I wake up that morning, and I'm just having a hard time waking up. Like, Chris is just like poking and prodding me, and I'm like, 10 more minutes. And he's like, it's going to open soon. Luckily, we made it as numbers 13 and 14. So, we did make it. I was just super butt that morning. But again, we'd only had like 4 hours of sleep total. So we get to the thing. It's super fun. They have a guy there that was doing wood turning on the lathe. And so that was super, super cool. So we picked up a bunch of pointers because I'm going to... I want to try and learn to use my wood lathe very soon. And I was like, this is super cool, learning lots of fun things. Got cool stuff in our goodie bags. They had a barbecue going on, so I ate a hot dog and a piece of birthday cake, and I was like, yeah, I hate eating actual breakfast in the morning. So by this time, it's almost noon, and I'm like, yeah, it's time to eat. So I ate and all that stuff, and then headed home to start working on things. And my cosplay partner for the contest at Anime Bonsai was messaging me to be like, make sure you're drinking water, please take a break, you sound tired in this video you sent me. And so anytime she mentioned that, I made sure to take a break, to drink some water and all that stuff. But I actually wasn't keeping track of it myself. And so by the time 11 o'clock hit, I realized that I'd walked into a wall 3 times.
Wow.
I mean, I had some energy stuff that I was drinking. I do like half a 5-hour energy because if I do the whole thing, I explode. So I had drank a half of one of those that day. I had corn dogs for dinner. So, like, I did have lunch and dinner, even though I didn't eat breakfast. I did have lunch and dinner, but I had only eaten hot dogs all day. And a cake. And so by the time 11 o'clock hits, I'm like, I feel fine, but I'm really tired, so I should get some sleep. I'll go get some sleep. So I go to lay down. But before I even get to the bed, it hits.
Ooh.
And I dash to the bathroom, and I threw up. So... today I'm actually setting a timer on my phone so that every hour I'm drinking a full cup of water, and cool. I am nibbling on a bagel right now, even though I hate eating breakfast as we're recording. I'm nibbling on a bagel to make sure I put something in my stomach before lunch, and then I'm buying stuff for making sandwiches.
Good.
So that I'll have healthy sandwiches for lunch today, and then I'm going to cook fish fillets and vegetables for dinner. So my bit of advice here is, even if you think you're fine, check yourself before you wreck yourself.
Vegetables are a good option for people in these moments where we're like, oh, I could get by on ramen. Yeah. I did get through in high school on ramen and Pepsi, and
I can't now.
I can't now.
Oof.
Yeah, I was like 5 years ago, I could have done this and I probably would have been fine. Probably would have even worked further into the night. Because like I was telling my husband, I was so mad at myself. It actually threw my body into a panic attack afterwards. And like I had that whole tingly feeling in my fingers. It was awful. But I was like, I did a game jam where I only got 4 hours of sleep each night. And I did fine. And I was running off of Mountain Dew and Dr. Pepper and whatever caffeine was available to me that whole time, and pizza.
Oof.
But I did fine. But that was like 5 years ago. So I'm glad it wasn't anything worse, that I had just, my body was just like, you haven't taken any of my warning signs today. Like, you know, almost walking into a wall 3 times. Here's a real big warning sign. Of course, I gotta argue with my body. I was going to bed, okay?
Nerd.
Yeah, so anyways, make sure that you are drinking water while you craft and eating and taking decent breaks. Don't overdo it. So,
yes.
The rest of this week I will not be overdoing it.
Good plan. I like that.
Yes, so hopefully if you see me at Anime Bonsai and you hear this, tell me to drink some water.
Yeah, there you go. Drink water.
I felt like that was another part of my job at NDK when I was sitting at the table. I was like, Pannon, Mercedes, have you had anything to eat? When was the last time you had some water?
David was a very good con mommy.
I will happily be your con mom. Come up to me and I will tell you, drink some water.
All right, I'll be like, David, what do I need to do?
Well, drink that water, Mercedes.
Get it.
I got a new water bottle from the Woodcraft thing, so I'll bring that with me.
Good.
Because I want to use it. I do have one kind of like mini story that was sent in to us. This was in September, so I apologize, Kimber. This has been a while, but we did receive your email. But you wanted to share your first cosplay. So from Kimber, they say, my first cosplay was Shoto Todoroki from My Hero Academia, and I ended up accidentally breaking his gear.
Oh.
I bursted out laughing. I do that when I don't know what else to do. I totally understand. And one of my friends said Toga, because apparently I sounded like her because I was too nervous.
Oh.
That's super cute. It's a really short story, but like, I love it. It's super cute. Thank you, Kimber. That was adorable. And I just actually started watching My Hero Academia, so...
Oh, nice.
It's
the
hilarious.
new season's coming out.
Yeah. I'm still on season...
I'm a manga nerd, but like...
2.
Oh, I'm excited for this season. My favorite character is in this season, so...
Yay.
I might be able to do a cosplay of him, maybe.
Ooh.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, so thank you for sending in your story. If anyone else would like to share your horror stories, your first time cosplay, your fun and enriching and happy stories, those are welcome too. You can send them to us at CosplayStitchandSeam@gmail.com. Or
go to the website, CosplayStitchandSeam.com. Check out the blog, check out the bonus content.
Yeah.
Fill out the form and say hello or give us a topic request. We had a new topic request recently, and if you're listening, I forgot the person's name.
Oh no!
But somebody sent in a topic request very recently. We'll be having that episode come up because it's actually a really important one on gender in cosplay and race in cosplay. So I think that'll be a really good one to cover.
Good.
So
good.
Yeah.
And then we also have our Facebook group. We're 450 people strong. It's a really welcoming, awesome community. Please feel free to join us if you like listening to the show. All of our latest updates go there. Yes. You can see it right when the new content is available on the website. And then
there's always Work in Progress Wednesdays, and on weeks that I'm feeling super good and not overwhelmed by cosplay crafting, there's, usually themed stuff every day.
Yeah. We also, you get to vote in polls and things on what we do for the live streams.
Yep.
So,
and sometimes I do a topic content request thing too, where it's like, hey, what are your thoughts on such and such topic? And you guys can comment, and we quote you on the podcast episodes.
Yeah, please come hang out in the streams, because, it's so much more fun when we can talk to you guys.
Oh my gosh, yes. The stream was fun. The one that we did was fun.
I loved it. I even watched it again because it's on my computer now that I have everything back up. And I just jumped around a little bit, making sure audio and everything was like, oh man, this was so much fun. Oh, this is the part where we make fun of my colorblindness again.
Aww.
Music.
Oh, by Macy Roberts.
Yay.
And sound editing.
Editing by me, David Jeffress of Dungeons and Chill and Comic Trades Monthly. We're doing some recording stuff for Dungeons and Chill. Don't expect anything new coming out from them anytime soon. But Comic Trades, this month, since we're in the spoopy season, we did The Walking Dead Volume 1. Ooh. And next month, we are going to be doing Saga by Brian K. Vaughan, which is one of my personal favorites of all time.
Ooh,
interesting.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Very cool.
All right. I'm going to check that one out.
That is awesome, and you should definitely check that out.
Yes.
I think that's everything. Yeah?
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 So remember this holiday
I love you, Stitchers
season?
and Seamers.
Yeah, Stitchers and Seamers and all the in-betweeners.
Yeah.
Remember not to be a jerk-o'-lantern this season, but give them pumpkin to talk about.
Oh, that was even better.
And don't forget to eat, drink, and be scary.
That worked really well for me.
It's terrible.
Oh, I was scary.
Hi guys, happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween, guys.